Hello, this is John the Veg Fisherman. Gonna take apart a reel today that I haven't took apart in a long time. My first Ambassador wasn't your prototypical Ambassador, the can. Of course, this is the right hand, right? So this is one I've got in. I'm gonna do some work to. There's another story behind this one. But my first Ambassador was an XLT, just like this one. I picked one up used at a local tackle shop and really just kind of fell in love with it, and then that's kind of led me into my whole, going into the Ambassador thing. But I'm gonna take this one apart. I don't know if I'll get it cleaned up today. It's cold and snowy here in the mountains. And I'm gonna get upstairs and get warm before I have to go back out in it here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and take this thing apart. Never done one. Right off the bat, it's missing the E-clip. That's nothing new. I find that a lot on these reels. People lose them. I lose them. But I put them back together with the E-clip. It's supposed to be on there. There's a reason for it. I don't try to re-engineer things. I try to put them back the way I found them, or I go with somebody else's, recommendations, parts, whatever. But I don't try to re-engineer. If it's supposed to have an E-clip, it gets the E-clip. Take the drag off. You see right away there's a bushing on that handle shaft, so we'll get to that in a minute. This thing has a quick release spool. Your mag control is built into the quick release. I won't do a whole lot with this other than lubricate it. I'm not gonna disassemble the whole thing. It looks like somebody might have taken a couple magnets out of it, but there's your. And honestly, it doesn't look like it's working. Yeah, the mag control is not working on it. It's missing something. So that means I'm probably going to be taking it apart anyway. It's missing a part. I just picked this reel up. See, that's supposed to turn. It's definitely not turning. So yeah, we're going to take that apart after all. Well, that's a problem for another part of the video here. This has got a looks to be a bushing on one side of the spool and a bearing on the other. Two clips holding it on there. Let's get into this thing here. Don't want to lose these things, and I'm telling you, once they get away from me, they go, they fly. Got it. Okay, there's a bearing underneath there. It's just a dust cover. We'll get that bearing out in a minute. There's another bearing over here. There's first there's a snap ring you got to get out to get to it. No. Let's try this guy here. There we go. There are two different sizes, so you can't get them mixed up. And then your drive collar retainer comes off, and then you can go in there and just kind of push those bearings out. Let's see if I can find something long enough. Maybe this will get in there. No, not small enough. No, I don't think that'll get in there either. Right. Oh, got it out. And there's a shim underneath that bearing. This takes a smaller size bearing, and I have some of those on order. I ordered a whole Now, folks, there's something to think about here. This thing has two different size bearings, or has shims on each side. And that one goes on the non-drive side. I'm going to have to keep everything kind of together on this. I don't know if I'm going to put brand new bearings in or not. They didn't feel like they were bad. We'll just give them some oil, clean them up a little bit later. I don't think it needs a whole lot. Okay, so we got that took apart. We'll take the cap off. It's got a snap ring under it. Like I said, I haven't been into one of these things in probably 20 years, so I don't know what I'm getting into. There's the drive shaft, or the axle shaft. Okay. I'll go ahead and take this side off. It takes the smaller size screwdriver. I purchased this for my use. Not really. It's not a collector's reel. I'm going to use this reel, but I got to figure out why the mag control is not working. I can cast it without the mag control, but I got to figure out why. It may just be a simple thing. We'll find out here in a minute. And it's got some spring tension under it. Means we probably have some springs on the yoke. They'd be the return springs. Whoa. All right. There's a return spring. It's made just like the 45, 40, 55, 6500s. It's just a abbreviated, reduced version of that. I've got bearings on order. I can replace that with a bearing. I think I've got that on order. Alright, there is an anti-reverse cog there. You got a concave convex washer, and you got two flats. This one's going to have probably a single washer drag system in it. Yeah, it's really dry, but we can fix that, I think. Oof, I don't know, maybe not. Okay, let's just watch what we do here. This drive cog, the level line comes off. Can't quite remove any of that yet. I'm going to have to take this side of the reel apart. This side over here has got a nut on it. It's got a slotted nut. It's gonna be different than anything you've ever seen on a reel. It's got this. This was on that threaded post. Okay, I got to pull the level line off of it, so it means this E-clip's got to go. Put all my level line parts over here. Take the alright, just gotta oh, I see how it works. Yeah. So your drive pawl for the worm gear level line is up under this black clip. I think I've done one other reel like this before. Maybe it was probably one of these. But and it rides in there like that. So I wish I could show y'all what I'm doing, but there's just no way. But there is the drive pawl, and it clips, and I think that comes out probably. If I had to guess, it does. Alright, this is all interesting. Couldn't really show you. There's just no way. All this comes apart now. That's that pawl. This goes on the tube, and the pawl goes up in there, and then that clip goes there to retain the pawl. Now, this thing's a little salty, like it's been in salt water or something. I really want to get that off there to clean it good. Maybe a stretch. There's two small silver screws up here at the top. One, yeah, they're both oh boy, how does that work? Something tells me I gotta drive it out right there. Well, let's get this piece out of the way before I end up bending something. There's a fiber washer goes between the cog gear and the anti-reverse cog. We got a lot of cogs in here. Let's see, this flip switch can go back to flip. That can come out. All this can come out. There's somebody has hooked something really freaking large on this thing. So this is supposed to be, wow, it's supposed to be squared off, and it's not. I'll have to probably try to find one of those. Parts are wanting to fly already. There's the pinion gear. I'm going to leave all this alone. I'm not even going to take that apart. None of that's dirty. Just needs to be cleaned up. Just a little cleaning. Yeah. I do need to get this out. I wonder. If that turns. I don't think so. No. Huh. I've never seen a reel I couldn't service the level line on. There's a spring at each end that goes up into. That's why it doesn't want to come apart. Okay, we're going to have to leave that alone. That's about as far as I can go with this reel. Alright, I know I got one part I got to find. That can come on apart. Stays like that. I don't think I have one of these. I'll look in my parts over. I don't know if it's the same as the Ambassadors or not. Really don't know how that thing goes together, folks. There's a pin right there. Pin right there. I'm just going to go for it here and see what happens. It may be a mistake. That comes off, it looks like. Alright. Does this come out? Yes. Wow, it's stuck. The magnets got stuck. There's a spring. Interesting. I see how it works, but I don't know why it's not working. I apologize I'm being so quiet on this one, but I've never done one of these and it's kind of got me a little bit puzzled. That's a complicated little deal right there. Don't look right. No, that's not the way it was in there. Yeah, I might have to look this one up. I didn't think these reels were all that complicated, but boy did I find out the hard way. Yeah, see, it's all jammed up now. I really don't know why. That's not how it goes, though, I can tell you that. Oh me, because now it's interfering with that gear, and yeah, it's not proper. There we go, got it back out. It's supposed to go around like this. There it goes. That's how it goes in there, but why is it not? Wild. I don't understand it. That's going to be a problem for another day, I reckon. I don't understand why it's not working. All the parts are there. Well, I'm going to clean this thing up in a day or two and come back. Probably won't get to it tonight. I want to look that up, do a little research on that whole mag control. Pretty sure this has to be pressed apart the way I'm seeing it now. So, yeah. It's kind of crazy. That's about as far as I can go with it. Pretty cool little reel though. I've got one I fish with, and I guess it's been a long time since I've been into it. Alright, well, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I'm going to make an attempt to build this reel here. I'm kind of on a time constraint. I got about an hour. We might be able to do it. A couple things. When I left off the first part of the video was this right here. So the mag control, it wasn't working, and I come to find out it was locked up. It wasn't really locked up. It was sluggish, and so I had figured out how. You see those two marks, right? You see those two marks? I took it apart, and that's the timing marks on how it goes back in. And so when you screw the mags back to minimum, there's a spring in there that pulls it around, and the spring couldn't overcome the grunginess up inside here. So I took it apart and cleaned it. You take this one screw out, and this is a retainer you have to adjust so that it doesn't over travel and hit the spool, and you can give it a little more travel or a little less depending on your casting style. So I did all that, and then I cleaned the outside of it up, you know, and it's ready to go. I got that ready. This piece, I don't know if you could tell how rounded out. That's supposed to be a oval shaped keyed hole that goes onto this shaft. Well, that's your anti-reverse, and it's your reset for your spool release. It resets the spool release on the reel, and it was rounded out. But the stem was great. There was no obvious issues with the stem. I see a little dirt there. Could probably help out the situation with, but yeah, I didn't see any in my inspection on the stem where there was any problems. The threads all look good. I left a little, my cleaner left a little dirt in there. I didn't. Inspected the gears. Everything looks good. So what was I going to do? I didn't have one of these, but I did have I had this more modern stem that had, and I'm going to use this old one that's already beat up, but it had one of these on there, but it had holes in it for a drive. And then it had this on there, which is the press plate for the, I drove that apart. Okay, so I've got an extra washer, I guess, if I ever was to need it. And of course this one's beat up, and I'm not even going to try to fix it. But I drove this off of there. Well then, this is exact same size, folks, so don't get excited. Same thickness, same diameter, same everything, but it had these little drive cogs in it, so I punched those out. And now I have a brand new part that fits perfectly on that original stem, and I'm going to be able to fix this reel. I did find a set of, I had these in stock. That's set 079, works on the older Ambassadors. Now, the bigger washer is a smaller, thinner, it's same diameter, but on the outside, but different on the inside. Same thickness, and then of course it's got the little washer in there. I think with the Carbon Tex, we're going to be okay with that. The handle, not horrible. It's a little bit, and it's got some nicks in it and stuff. It shows the most wear of the whole reel. I got a whole box of handles over there, so this handle's not as old as this one, but I grabbed it and I'm gonna make it work. So, and I may go along and maybe touch the paint up on that one someday and put it back on this reel. I'll remember which reel it went on. A couple things I learned as I was doing research on this reel, because I kind of got intrigued by it, and I'll show it to you when I get it all apart. But this thing, reason why, and I'm glad I didn't get it apart, this thing has a pawl that releases when you go to cast. It's what this rod right here does. It pushes on this piece right here, and it releases this pawl, and it will, I think that's how it works. We'll find out. But anyway, it releases it, so when it casts, this can just, however the line is stacked on the spool, it goes back and forth. Okay, and I had forgot that, and I had to go out there and look at my other reel, and dadgum, sure enough, that's how it is. It's an XLT plus, just like this one, same left hand, blah 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 blah. It's the same reel. So that was kind of cool. You know, I learned something there. So let's I'm gonna go over it with a Q-tip, make sure I got everything out of it. I'm gonna attempt to get some lubricant up under it. It's not gonna be the easiest thing to do. I'm just gonna tell you, I didn't want to do a full-on disassembly of this reel once I started seeing what I was seeing, and I'm glad now I didn't. My gut was to stop while I was ahead, and I did. And you know, some things are necessary in life to take apart, and some things aren't. And I think I made the right decision on this one to not dig in any deeper and take it apart. Really a cool little reel. I love Ambassadors, and my first reel was an Ambassador just like this. And, I really enjoyed fishing with it. I caught my biggest largemouth bass on one of these. It was an 8.5 pounder on Smith Mountain Lake. There's a whole story about that in my videos somewhere. My very first left-hand bait caster was a Shimano Bantam 1001. This is 85 zeros. I guess that means this reel was made in 1985. Best I can figure on it. I'm just going through things, folks. It's got a couple of rough spots here and there, so I'm just going to, you know, polish them up. It looks like the level line sat in one place on this with some moisture in it. It's got a little bit of corrosion. I wouldn't mind finding another one of these tubes at some point, but it's going to be fine. I'm not real crazy about it, but we can make that work. It'll get enough lube on it. It'll rock and roll just fine. Now this drag, the press plate for the outer drag, which is really the only drag on this reel, it's got some roughness to it. So I'm gonna take some emery cloth. I use this emery cloth. I've used this piece of emery cloth for probably 10 years polishing on reels. It's got just enough roughness where it won't remove too much material, but it polishes things up. So I'm gonna go over here on this flat surface and try to get a good grip on it, try to polish some of that mess off of there. And that's all it needed, just a couple of swipes. So bear with me. This is not going to go easy, quick, whatever, so bear with me. I've got to learn as I go on this one. I know that this goes through like this. And probably would have been great if I had looked. Oh, I know what I can do. I've got this, well, I don't have the schematic in front of me. You know what? I'm gonna go get my other reel. Hang on just a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, it's mounted on a rod. But what I'm looking for is how that goes on, and I see how it goes now. So we're good. That locks in place. That's my original one. I bought it used, believe it or not. We'll set that over there out of the way. Let's get back to the task at hand here. Let me look at that one more time just to make sure I get it right. Yes. Okay. Yep, that's stuff falling off the shelf. Alright. So it goes like this. Okay. Apologize. I want to get it together right? Oh, boy. There is not a lot of room for big fingers down in here. I'm really not too sure how I could do it any other way. If I can get that started on there. Okay. Well, that, I'm trying to work in frame here. I apologize, folks. This is something that, oh, no, we don't want to do that. Well, I found an easier way to get it in there, though. Okay. Goes like that. But I did find an easier way to get it in there. You can come in, and I'm going to drop this probably 10 times before because it'll come out a lot easier and it'll go back in, right? Let's see if we can't get everything lined up. Come on, we can do this. Yes. All right, now I have to get that turned a little bit so it will line up with there's a slot, and that has to go up into that slot. Two teeth on that tube that go into a slot on there. Okay, now this goes in and it locks into that tube. There's a slot in the tube on this side. Just got to get it lined up. Is it there? Yeah, I believe it is. Okay, we got that in, so now I can put this snap ring over here, although it looks like it should have a washer right there. I don't remember having a washer when I took it apart. So there is a washer there, but that's not the washer. And I don't have a replacement for this E-clip. So if it goes flying, we're done. But I want to make it a really good attempt there. It kind of looks right. Okay. Now, hopefully I didn't just mess up. This crazy looking thing, it takes the worm pawl, level line pawl in it, and then it goes in here all right, snaps in. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to need some help with that. If I get this done, the rest of this reel is going to go real easy. That's why I'm kind of fighting it first. Oh, come on, baby. You almost had it. You got her. You got her. Come on. Gosh, it's a bear. There's just no room, folks. Just no room. It's got to go in like that. I'm gonna use my forceps. This is very, very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's try it. I just picked these up at Harbor Freight. Let's see if they'll do this and not let it go flying. Just the angle is totally wrong here. Yeah, I gotta work on that. Hopefully this thing won't go flying off of here. If I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't take this part off. But the worm was really nasty on it. It really needed to be cleaned. Well, I kind of got it on there, but it's not wanting to pop in place. Hey, did I get it? Yep, all right, I got it. So, okay, this it looks like there might be something missing on this reel. I've got the schematic upstairs. I really probably ought to. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think there's definitely something missing on this reel. something has fallen out, because that rod, well, wait a minute. There it goes. Just because it had it in flip. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Now we got the flipping turned off on it. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, now back on track. I think we got the worst part of this reel done. Let's squeeze some lubricant up into all this. I can't really do a whole lot to get lubricant up under all of it, but that rod has to go between those two pegs right there. So I'm going to put some grease to hold it there. Grease up that gear a little bit. All right. Let's get the pinion gear in its little home there on the yoke. Try not to overdo it. So the pinion gear, it's got that little plastic collar going around it. It will go in and sit right up in there. That plastic collar rides inside the, well, I guess that's the yoke for lack of any other term for it. Okay. Next step, you got a washer goes on here, and we'll put some oil on this shaft. It will go in. This and the anti-reverse dog have to go together. I think it goes. Yes. Yeah. Gotta get that lined up on that peg. Oh, heck. I didn't. That's not good. That's not good at all. That means this has got to come back out, at least partially. See what I did wrong? This shaft has got to clear this cog. And yeah, I probably should have remembered that when I took it apart. I think that's why I ended up taking all this mess off of here. But good news, folks. I just got to take one E-clip off. I think we'll do the job. But can't lose that E-clip, you know. There it is. I can pull this out to right here. Now I got to make sure I've got this, oh my goodness, stay on there. Pretty sure that anti-reverse dog goes like that. And then this also has to go up under that. So it's got to sit on that shaft a certain way. I'll tell you what, probably one of the harder reels I've ever put together, I'm not gonna lie. Oh boy. Let's just start all over again. This is not staying seated for whatever reason. Good grief, man. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. That's, oh gosh, this is why I said I may not have enough time to build this thing today. Why is that sitting up on there so high? Wow. This has got to go back in at the same time that's going in. Oh boy. I think I can put that snap ring back on there now. Yeah, sometimes these things are just way too complicated, but you know, it's made by the Swedes and they're pretty smart people, so we'll go with what they gave us. Oh, let's see here. Don't like their cars. You would never get me in a Saab or a Volvo, but that's just the way it is. Okay. So you know what I've done wrong? No, it's right. It's right, because you would crank like this. Okay. All right, we're good. But, yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm going to let that hold that there, and we'll try. I think I can do this. I'm going to try to squeeze this pinion back into its home. Good day. Absolutely insane, no room. Yeah. Golly. Absolutely insane. All right. We've got something going on there. All right, let's continue with this craziness here. All right, let me open up this drag set here. We're moving right along. Still doing better than I thought I would with it. Glad I had the other one to look at. I've got the schematic printed off. Of course, it's upstairs. We'll put a little bit of cowls. That washer goes on. Then your gear. No. Then this gear. Everything acts like it's sitting too high for some reason. I don't know why. Just doesn't. I'm not happy with it. That washer may just be too thick. Let's put the stock washer back on. What's it going to hurt? Okay, stock washer, gear, and it's got two little cogs and they go up. This is going to be the worst video I've ever shot, I believe, because it's just hard to. I think we're there. Let's see, this will go, get some lube. It was really dry when I took it apart. It probably had never been serviced, to be honest with you, if I had to guess. we're gonna try this this washer here. If I don't like it, I can always change it out. It seems like it's a little small. The drag may be a little light for it, but it kind of fits. Maybe this isn't the right set. Y'all tell me. I don't really have anything else to put in there, so we'll try it and see. I'm gonna keep these and always go back to it. This will go in. All right. It took wavy washer and then these two flat washers, and then I've got bearings on order to replace this with, and I can do that without even taking the reel apart as far as that goes. Oh boy, yeah, this has been something. A little bit of grease in those screw holes. Nothing else goes on that I remember. I remember having spring tension against it, so that's good. Oh, I see something. It takes one of these over here to hold this little plastic piece on the top. That goes in right there. Let's get my screwdrivers out. All right. Put this back on there. Line it up, and there's 3 black screws that go in the cover. The complications with this reel is the tight quarters with it. You know, it's a narrow spool. It's basically it's narrower than a 4600 or 4500. It looks to me like it is anyway. Could be wrong. I do have spare spools to these reels that I carry in my tackle box when I'm bass fishing. I do bass fish with these. I like them. I seldom have casting problems with them, believe it or not. Alright, if I remember this, I'm going to get some oil on it. This is your axle shaft, or spool shaft. And it goes in and goes through there. And I remember having this, and it had this little snap ring on it, but that snap ring is going to definitely be tough to get on there without losing it. Watch this, folks. Watch this thing go fly. I got confidence, don't I? Oh, I got it. Okay, and I'm thinking this cap is supposed to have a friction washer in it. Okay, so let me move my fishing rod here, my favorite little fishing rod, and I've got some of those. Oh, I've got some in here now. Whether they're the right size or not, I don't know. Seems like it ought to be bigger than that, don't it? What I'll do is I'll put that in there for now. I have a feeling that's going to probably not work too well. But I'll leave it in there for now. And yeah, I'll order the right ones. I'm pretty sure that part is still available. I had a bunch of those in here. I guess I've used them over the years. Whole bunch of bearings right there for Garcia's. Now, we'll try that. I think it's going to bend it, but put that on there. That's the only place you can adjust tension is right there. Let's take it back. Let's run it down. All it'll do, and run it back, and I'll bet you it's bent. Nope. It actually doesn't look bad. So let's put some oil in there. I just don't know if it's staying centered real good or not. Let's try to get it centered. What we could do is put some grease down in there and center it. Put this in there and shift it around. What that does, it should have two of those actually. I mean, most of them have two, and they're square looking. They snap down into the cap. The newer ones do. I don't know about this older one, but we'll put that on there. Let's go ahead and put the handle on it. I'm going to go with we got to put the drag on. Let's go with some grease on it. Reverse threads because you're dealing with a left-hand reel here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure something's missing in this reel. So I'm gonna have to see, it's locked in there, but there's nothing to keep it locked in. So yeah, I got a part missing on there. I'll look at the schematic here in just a few minutes and get the parts on order. But you win some, you lose some when you buy a reel at auction. You know, you don't always it doesn't always have everything you need, and this would be the case on this one. Get the threads to catch and go the other way with it. Yeah. I always turn them in reverse, and you'll feel the thread catch. Sometimes you got to flip it over and get it to work. All right. This reel's not going to actually be a finished project when I get done with it, but I think y'all understand why. Plenty smooth enough. The only problem is it's not locking that level line. So there's something missing down there. I got to give it a good look over. All right, let's put the spool together. This is the rear bearing. I do have bearings on order for this. Oh. Yeah. this actually gets... Oh, I got everything backwards here, I think. No, that's right. It gets that wavy washer. I thought they always went on the drive end of these things. Then it had this plastic spacer. Then snap ring. If that ain't right, when I get the schematic down here, I don't know why I didn't bring that schematic down. Then over on this end, you got a shim, bearing, retainer. There's two little, no, they go up. The two little prongs get, the bend goes up towards the pinion gear, and then this just snaps in around and holds all that mess together. Okay, so there's your spool, and it goes in just like that, locks in the shaft. You see it's spinning it now. I got one screw to put in right here. I'll come back to the handle. I know I left that off of there. So as soon as I figure out what in the world goes on with that, let's come back to the handle and put that on. I'm sure I'm going to take this back apart. Oh, that's the wrong cap for this. There's something else. See, Garcia changed this at some point, so I'm gonna put the other hand, and I still got to put the snap ring that's oh, it wasn't on there. Remember, John, when you took it apart and the snap ring wasn't on there? That's right. That's why I went over and found my bag of snap rings and brought them over here. Golly. So I'm going to put the factory handle back on it because I don't want to deal with trying to find another cap. But at some point they changed the relationship where this hole is to the center of that shaft. No big deal. We're going to put it back. We're going to run it like it came. Okay. Check my time here. Yeah, I got a little bit of time left. We'll put us a snap ring on here. Might actually have one already out. I do. Here's one I found on the floor the other day. It's funny, you get down there on the floor looking for a part you lost for one reel, and you find one you lost 6 months ago for another one. Of course, I can't get it out of there because it's stuck. It's just a little bitty thing. My fingers don't work that well. There we go. Snap that back on there. That was the only part that I knew was missing off of it when I took it apart. Now we just got to figure out. That's right. Yeah, at some point Garcia changed that on the Ambassadors. Don't know why. No clue. Let's give these threads a little bit of grease. This plate goes on. It took a special nut. They'll go either way. Goes down in there. It's just a round nut with slots on each side of it. You can put it in there either way. And then these are caps. And the reason why it's doing that is because I don't have the end plate on it here. This is the quick release for the spool. It goes in. You gotta lift this up. It locks in like that. I'm adjusting the end plate on the spool. Like I said, other than this isn't working properly, I'll show you how it's supposed to work. Well, I can't. I got line on this one. Well, don't have a clue why this one's not working. Is it supposed to? Oh, you know what? It might just need some lubrication. But that don't make sense, but it may just gravity fall over. No. The whole shaft is supposed to turn. I think the gravity does just let it fall over there. I think it's okay. But anyway, there it is. With a few blunders, you know, it was an eventful thing. That drag will work just fine. It's a little tight, actually. Yeah, I might have to work on that. That's too much drag all the time. Maybe I'll take a washer out of it or something. You got your flipping switch there. All right, well, there it is. An Ambassadeur XLT plus left hand. I think it's ready to fish. I just got to get the drag a little bit better and make sure I'm not missing a part for that reset on the level line. But it's a nice looking reel. I think I'll just leave that original handle on it. Not gonna hurt a thing. It's a little nicked up, who cares? Yeah, I like it. Pretty cool reel. Pretty cool reel. Well, that's smoothing it up. That's interesting. We'll drop of oil up in there. It's getting better. Not as smooth as I'd like for it to be, but not horrible. All right. Well, this is John, the Vintage Fisherman. Thanks for watching the video. Please like the video if you got a good laugh at watching me bumble through it. subscribe to my channel so you get to see me do it again. These little boogers can be pretty frustrating sometimes, but they're fun. I enjoy working on them. I enjoy taking something that didn't work right and making it work better, which is what we did. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.